945 days, that's how long Lewis Hamilton waited for another victory in the world of Formula One. Not since the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in December, yes, where it was neck to neck with Max Verstappen, did he takes the victory. Now he sits solely as the man, the driver with the most wins at a single circuit after he won the British Grand Prix. It is 104 victories for Lewis Hamilton. With that, I welcome you to another exciting edition of Sports Pizza. My name is Edwin Onyebolise. We have so much in store for you. In fact, we have a fantastic, interesting conversation on the show for you today. We will be comparing three of the biggest Confederations Cup championship on the show today. Not forgetting some of the best juicy stories from the home front. And of course, we always entertain you with our video for the week. It is a total package on Sports Pizza. I'll be bringing on David right after we go on this short break. Don't change the channel. It is Sports Pizza. Welcome back. It is still Sports Pizza. Edwin in the building. David, welcome to the show.
Edwin, it's a pleasure to be here as always. I'm happy to be here.
How you doing? How's your week been?
Well, I'm not happy generally because my crush in the Super Falcons, she's not able to fulfill her dream at this point in time of going to the Olympics. Actually, plumped here. That was part of the reasons why she was on a journey. That's why she switched allegiance to Nigeria. She got to the World Cup, and Olympics was also on her plans, but she didn't get the call up. But there's still time for hopefully the next one. She'll get the opportunity. But generally, everything's going well.
All right, let's get out to action. You started with the Super Falcons, and a couple of weeks, the Olympics will start, and the Falcons have a big task on their hands. Are you confident?
Unfortunately, I'm not. That group is as difficult as it will get. You have Brazil, you have Japan, in that. I mean, former world champions, Spain also, current world champions, former world champions, and Brazil. We know who they are. So I think it's a tough task. I don't know how they're going to be able to negotiate it, but first time since 2019 in the Olympics. I just say go there, enjoy yourself, and just have fun.
Still with the Olympics, David, the sports minister, Senator John Eno, spoke glowingly about the chances of Team Nigeria in Paris. David, I'm not confident. The same way you're not confident about the chances of the Falcons, I'm also not confident about the chances of Team Nigeria going to the Olympics. Yes, we have medal hopefuls in the Ese Brumes of this world and the Tobi Amusons of this world. Other than those two names, I don't see where the medals are coming from.
Unfortunately, so I'm not hopeful about Team Nigeria as a whole, but you know those names you mentioned. There's also Chike Okeze in the 100 meters. I don't know if he's going to medal, that field is very competitive.
Very competitive.
In the short put, we have Onyemaechi. Hopefully, he will give us a medal, maybe a bronze at least, because he has shown he has quality, African champion. But let's see. But Team Nigeria generally, I think we are going to count the medals on our fingers. The one we are going to come home with.
Is it time we focus on the sports that will most likely give us medals, rather than just casting our nets and hoping that
we'll catch
a lot of fishes? Because you look at the Chinese. I'm going to use China as an example. They know their strengths, they know their weaknesses. You rarely see China invest heavily
in sprints.
In sprint races. Do you get? They know that table tennis, we are there. Swimming, they are there. Taekwondo, they are there. Judo, they are there. So they target those sports, and you see them win a lot of medals. But here with us, as long as the sports exist, we think we have a chance. I think we need to change our modus operandi and try and target the sports. I'm looking at athletics. I think athletics. Long jump. I'm looking at maybe if we can refocus and re-strategize. There's football there. Just pick those sports where you think you have medal hopefuls, and you channel your resources. I'm not saying you neglect others, but the bulk of your resources, financially and otherwise, should be targeted to what it makes those sports competitive. And also, other sports know that if we can drive the push to be better,
we can also
get something from the government.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. You've broken it down nicely. Just putting your best foot forward. But I don't know why we fail to do that. We know we've been going to the Olympics for a while now. We know the sport that actually put us on the map. So I think it's commonplace. It's common sense for us to do. But I don't know why the people in charge of affairs are not thinking in that direction. And well, hopefully they will come to see the light and eventually do what works best for Nigeria as a whole.
Talking about what works best, Fisayo Dele-Bashiru has been officially announced as a Lazio player. It just took me back to a former Nigerian who represented Lazio. You have Ogenyo Nazi who represented Lazio. And who will forget Stephen Ayodele Makinwa? Yes, played about 45 or 46 league games for Lazio. Didn't particularly have a stellar time. Was loaned around Serie A clubs, but also represented Lazio. We're wishing Fisayo all the best in the Italian Serie A, so we'll have more eyes on Fisayo. And he's one who I think Lazio gives him that opportunity to have a consistent run in the Super Eagles.
I think so. I mean, his journey has been remarkable. He broke through at Manchester Academy, went to the Champions League with Sheffield Wednesday, and at 2019, he felt like, oh, where's he going next? Premier League next? But he decided to go to Turkey at A-Sport. That move was really castigated in the media. That why would you be going to Turkey at 19? But you know, the 2 years he has spent there, he has built his career. He even made his Super Eagles debut, played 2 games, and now he has moved to a bigger league. I think at 21, those were a long move, so there's chance for him to impress, and there's motivation for him to impress. He gets to impress the Super Eagles more regular in the team, and then he gets a bigger move to an even bigger league. I think it's a good move for him, win-win for him.
All right, before we go on a break, David, we must talk about Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
December 2021, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It climaxed at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We know how it went, where on the final day of the season, the race director changed the rules, Max Verstappen won, and it sort of messed up Lewis Hamilton's mental health. It took him a while to recover. In fact, in his post-match interview, he said he felt in those moments that Formula One was done and dusted. There was no hope of winning another race, but hey, he's won it 7 times. I'm talking about the F1 championship. He's won 103 races before the weekend. 9 on a single circuit. The greatest.
Absolutely, I think it's clear. There's really no doubt, and I'm happy for him because when the practice sessions went on, it seemed like something was really brewing. And then the qualifying, we saw a 1-2-3 British 1-2-3, and I just had a sneaky feeling something crazy was going to happen. Like Hamilton actually, winning. He has only gotten 1 podium this season, but that race was really remarkable. Lando Norris also give a good account of himself, Max Verstappen as usual. But now, in the first 5 races of the season, Verstappen won all 5. But in this, the next 5 now, we've seen more challenges, and he has won only 2. So I think the competition is good for F1 and Hamilton. I'm really happy for. If he felt he had a weight on his shoulder, after agreeing the move to Ferrari, he felt like he was just biding his time at Mercedes. But he has a victory now on the podium, and I think it means that he still has that fire in him going to Ferrari next year. It
was a big disappointment for George Russell, who had to retire due to a water pump fault in his car. Verstappen finished second. That's final few laps. He just went ahead of Lando Norris. And Lando Norris, like I said on a different platform, David, I think he's primed to replace Sergio Perez at Red Bull. But should Red Bull be concerned? The last couple of races haven't really gone their way. Also, the pace they once had feels like the other teams are matching up.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a source of concern for them. I think Verstappen is trying. The champion he is doing well, but the performances of Sergio Perez leaves room for something. He has not finished higher than 7th since the beginning of the season. I think that's a big indictment. But I think the other cars on the circuit are actually giving them a run. And for the neutrals, it's good, but for Red Bull, source of concern. All
right, we need to go on another break. When we come back this time, we will be comparing the AFCON, the EUROS, and the Copa America in 2024. Which is the best of the lot? Welcome back to the second half of the show. Sports Pizza, Edwin and Davey in the building. Remember, you can follow us on our social media platforms now showing on your screen. David, it is time. So, over the years, when we talk about the biggest international competition, of course, the FIFA World Cup stands on its own. Yeah. It is the biggest. Now, we begin to compare and contrast with the confederations, CONCACAF, South America, Europe, Asia, CAF. The consensus is that the Euros is next to the FIFA World Cup. Copa America is next. You have AFCON, you have Asia, you have CONCACAF. With due respect to those confederations. But this is 2024, David. Yeah. This year, we saw the AFCON. Yeah. Currently, the Euros and the Copa America is ongoing. Yeah. I think, now it could be from a place of sentiment, but I think in 2024, when you put together all of the indices, the quality of football, fans' experience, individual quality, the tactical acumen of the coaches, when you put all of this together, I think 2024, the AFCON gave us the best international tournament. Do you agree? Feel free to disagree. Yeah.
I strongly agree. So I think the numbers even go to support that. You know, the AFCON, the numbers were remarkable, you know, the viewing numbers across the world. You know, a lot of eyes were glued. Social media conversations were being generated about the AFCON. And even the football we saw was excitement, was chaos, was everything you want in an international competition. I think compared to these Euros we've seen, you know, the Euros, there's been a lot of, you know, druggery and a lot of players just doing the same old motions. And I think the AFCON really has, you know, this year, I think, is the biggest international competition.
What has gone wrong with the Euros and by extension Copa America? Why, like you said, did we see a lot of drab games? The Euros has been devoid of individual brilliance. Now, if you take your mind to Euro 2008, I think that's the most recent in terms of capturing what I'm about to talk about. You saw everything about football. You saw fantastic coaching, you saw varieties of tactics, you saw individual brilliance, we saw goals. But right now, it feels like it is robotic, it is mechanical, everybody trying to do the same thing. What has given a way for this quote-unquote robotic football?
So I think the investment of Europe in football, the fact that they want to make money. You know, UEFA have turned into a money-making machine, and everything they are concerned about is how to make money. One, the number of games they turned the Nations League to an actual, you know, glorified friendly, and their leagues and everything is just. Then the pressure to win. You know, the teams get on the field and try to win. So nobody's really bothered about how you play. They just want to win. And there's a lot of similarities. We look at teams playing similar tactics. We saw England over the weekend mirror exactly what Switzerland were doing, like style for style. And it felt like these are the kind of things we don't see in the AFCON. AFCON is individual qualities. You see different nations. You see Mauritania come with their own style. You see, you know, different teams coming with their style. But the Euros, you see a lot of similarities. I think because a lot of these players are coming from similar leagues, and there are a bulk of them coming to the national team. So I think there's a lot of similarities. So we are seeing a lot of clash of styles.
And let's talk about Copa America. Of course, South America has given us, arguably, according to churches of millions, tens of millions of football fans, the greatest player in football history. It could be Pelé, it could be Diego Maradona, or Lionel Messi. This continent has provided us with some of the greatest playmakers the world has ever seen. Talk about Zico, the names you've mentioned, Maradona, Messi, there's Ronaldinho, there's the Kempes, there's the Riquelme, a lot. But these days, David, I watched Brazil versus Uruguay, and after 70 minutes, I just had to switch my TV off because it was boring, it was drab, it was too physical. And here's my honest opinion. I think South America have westernized their football. And you look at the talents they are churning out. They are turning out talents that leave the shores of their respective countries early in exchange for the millions of euros and pounds that will come into the Brazilian economy. Financially, it makes sense. But for the football culture, it has been eroded. And that is why we're seeing a Brazilian team. No disrespect to them. Rodrigo, Vinicius, one of my favorites. But again, you can't compare Vinicius to the Neymars of yesteryears. You look at Argentina, Lionel Messi, yes, but these days is Lionel Messi. You look at the names, no inspired. In fact, the best player so far this tournament is James Rodriguez. A throwback from the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the past it was Brazil, Argentina that actually epitomized it. But now we are seeing countries like even Ecuador, Panama, actually.
Colombia.
Kendrick Paez, they are one of their brightest players, 17 years, who's on his way to Chelsea already. And that's Ecuador. I mean, what's a 17-year-old Ecuadorian going to do in Chelsea? He's going to eventually be swallowed up. So I think South America generally as a whole, before it was, they would sell their players to some of these lesser leagues in Europe to actually develop and then go to the bigger league. But now they are now skipping the middleman. They are going directly to this big. So they want to create already refined players that are suited for those systems and it's affecting the countries generally.
Or maybe we are being overly critical of these confederations. Maybe this is where football is, and it's either you join them or you get left behind.
There's a bit of that in it, but I mean, variety is the spice of life. You can't all be doing the same thing and expect a different result. So I think this confederation should stick with what makes them unique. You know, when you look at a player like Darwin Núñez, his unrefined nature, his raw nature is something that is exciting. If he was a system player who fits into a particular bill, he will not be the player we are seeing at this point in time. So I think they should stick with what works for them. They should not toe the line of imagine a Brazil playing against England or playing against Spain, and you are seeing similar style of, the likes of when Brazil Italy played the Europeans in the past. The Europeans were scared of them because of what they brought, Diogo Bonito style. But now we are seeing Brazil playing similar to Spain. So what's the difference? I don't think it works.
Let's come back to AFCON as we get to the climax of this show. What AFCON lacks in financial resources, we have in talent, we have in our football culture. I think for us to get to that level of popularity with Europe, by extension South America, we need to invest. Invest a lot. In youth football, invest a lot in infrastructure. And I think we can competently and comfortably match the Europeans. Yeah, they have a head start over us. I would say 50 years head start. But we can bridge the gap if we just key into this indices that I just laid out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we could just take the infrastructure of Asia, like without the talent that they are, just marry it over to what Africa has. I mean, we'll bridge the gap. The gap is really there for us to be. In terms of talent, we can match them, but it's just what they've done ahead of us. But there's a gap for us to bridge, and just doing the right things, that investment, we need to do a lot of work.
All right, so, hey, to different African sports ministries, football federations in particular, we can do it. We have abundance of talent. You look at Africans, that's street football we crave for. They still retain it.
Absolutely.
That's street smartness, those skills. Look at Euros. How many set pieces have been scored? In South America, how many set pieces have been scored?
None.
So the question is, what are they doing wrong?
That we can do right to catch up with them.
That we can do right to catch up with them. That's the million-dollar question. And that is how we end today's show. I'm sure you had fun with us. You enjoyed this conversation. There's more in store for you on the YouTube page. I will leave you with our video for the week. Do enjoy it. Follow, like, subscribe to the YouTube page, Sports Pizza, and also follow the social media handles at Sports Pizza. My name is Edwin Onyebulise. Until we come your way same time next week. Do have fun. And David?
Yeah, pleasure as always. Have fun, guys.
Thanks.